Oh, they're doing these challenges again? What the hell? Dude, please tell me they're doing these on console again. That'd be sweet. What the? Oh, great. Well, that's nice. But there we go. Now I can talk without penalty. But connected to the right thing this time. Hopefully. Alright, connected. Oh, you're gonna make me type my password? Fine. Whatever. Alright, now things should be better. Maybe worse. Hopefully better. Settings, hotkeys. Yep, see, I was just connected to the wrong Wi-Fi. I was on the 5G and not the regular one. Yep, there's my issue. It's connected to the 5G, not the regular Wi-Fi. Everything's all good now. For now. This quest is so tedious. Did I grab the rest of that? I don't need that. Well, if they brought back these challenges, I know what I'm doing this weekend. If they're on console. If they brought back the challenges of the gods on console, I'm grinding on my warlock 100%. Those challenges were fun, and I needed to do those on my warlock. I need to bump up my warlock so bad on console. It's annoying. Oh, don't screw that. Fuck that noise. Oh, hello. What challenge is that? Yeah, we're gonna take it. Easy challenge, easy clap. I did that challenge on console with my warlock, and oh my god. Trying to not use Hellish Rebuke is annoying when that's like your one tap combo. Hello, viewer. Am I being followed? I am. Sweet. No potion for you. What challenge is this? 5 kills, no at will. Challenge accepted. Oh, so that's another reason why my button shouldn't be control, because I forgot I have to do that constantly. I was really banking on that being an AoE, not a single target kind of weird thing. They had to be all clumped together. That spell was totally different than what I thought it was. I'm so bad at this game. Completely disregard the fact that I had that challenge on. Don't need you. You're shimmering. Oh, thanks, Sarge. Now, if only I had money. Which I spent all on my warlock. That's not funny, kids. Don't invest all your money into warlocks. Or any RPG. Use this to receive an epic application from an artisan in the profession of your choice. Okay. Yeah, I'll worry about that later. This ring sucks. I gotta be level 23 for that anyways. I don't want to equip it, I want to identify it. You used to be able to identify it doing that. I have to. That's so dumb. This is why I play the console version more. Alright, I guess I'm curious as to what this is. I don't know why I was curious. It's a dumb ring I probably can't use. Or don't need. I'm so bad at this game. Challenge of... Oh, yo, screw that. I hate that challenge. This challenge of my warlock's impossible. Let alone my cleric. I keep forgetting that's a fake chest. I've done that so many times in my life. Use 10 encounter powers while in combat. Bet. Challenge of Sune. What? It's just not gonna pop up, I guess. Alright, cool. Alright, die. Time to get my game face on. Alright, that's the challenge complete. easiest challenge in the world. Oh, 10 kills without pressing 1 or 2. It's like playing Overwatch. You gotta get like 10 kills without pressing Y or Q in console's case, or PC's case. Console player, by the way. Not a PC gamer one bit. Well, sometimes I am. On PC, but consider myself more of a console gamer. It's actually my first time playing PC in since like December. Wow, it's been a long time. Come on, let me turn in this quest. Turn in. Accept. Level up later. You leveled up. See what's new. I'll see what's new when I'm done. Go away. What? That missed? See? Easy. Now I'm really hoping that this Challenge of the Gods are in console, because if they are, I'm grinding on my Warlock for a while instead of playing Final Fantasy, because screw me. Oh wait, it's 12 hours left? Oh shit, never mind. I got time. Damn, I should have been playing this instead of Final Fantasy. Oh well, Final Fantasy's better. Change my mind. Don't at me. I believe this is what I went for? No, I went for this. I can't remember my own build that I was playing in console. Well, I can still remember, but not remember everything. Because I'm prone to forget things, because I'm a human. So what does this even do again? Well, I guess we need to master a spell and then bump it up. And apparently I'm under attack. That was a horrible miss. Thank you, dog. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, new stuff. Cool, don't care. 5 enemies, no at will. Challenge accepted. I just gotta not... I do this without clicking my mouse. That's easier said than done. When clicking your mouse is the biggest habit you have. Go away. I'll just go for a bit longer. Bit longer, bit longer. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna go this way. Oh, there we go. I click my mouse again. It feels good to finally click my mouse after 2 minutes. Not even. One moment. Okay, I'm back. So I just had to tweet something out on Twitter and yell at a few people in my DMs. Because I love telling people I'm busy and then, oh, hey man, what you doing? Like, not even like 15 minutes after I said I was busy. Hey man, what you doing? You want to do something later? Like, first of all, it's like 10 at night. So what are you doing up at 10 at night? You have high school. Second of all, why are you texting me? And I don't know why I get text messages from random people just asking if I want to do something, and it's like, dude, just go away. I don't want to talk to you right now. I told you I was busy 15 minutes ago. Like, I'll get either a friend who's still in high school or a friend that I know now. They'll be like, hey man, what are you doing? I'll be like, well, kind of busy. You know, like I kind of told you 15 minutes ago. Oh, you still busy? Like, yeah, still busy. Oh damn, I was hoping we could do something. I like to complain about my life. Makes me feel better. Not really, but sometimes I guess. Alright, well, if that's our objective, we're gonna explore on some more, get this challenge done. This cold needs to go away, like really bad. Sad truth is, I think I'm just coming down with it. Now I got a song stuck in my head. Well, I keep forgetting I have a horse. It's so much easier on console. I can just remember, like, hey, idiot, you know, you got a horse. Well, actually, I have a sleigh on console, and I know I just did that and failed my challenge, but oh well. I don't even care anymore. Let's move on to the objective. I really need to change the button for that. Probably change to like mouse 5 or something like that. In fact, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna change the button for that so I don't forget later. So Oh my god, that gets annoying. Going control, I. Keybinds. Daily special power. Invocation. There we go. Fixed my little invocation thing. I'm gonna reach over my computer. Press 2 buttons. Great, now I'm getting messages from Discord on my phone. Hi, I'm back from work. That's nice. That would have been, helpful back when the D&D session started, but my friend's campaign, we were, for some reason, we like to do illegal things in our campaigns. Like in his campaign, we just broke into a prison. And we're trying to save someone and, like, kill the warden. Our campaign just gets weird. I mean, mine gets weirder. I mean, I had everyone, like, rob a bank, break into a prison, break into a couple of houses, vandalize a few places, break into a illegal prostitution ring, killed a couple police officers. Like, my campaign went everywhere. They're like, hey, alright, so here's the thing, guys. If you're gonna rob a bank, I'm sorry, you thought I was joking. You're robbing a bank. You think D&D, you think, breaking into dungeons and, killing things and going on an adventure. I don't think many people think of, let's play D&D and rob a bank playing D&D. You think of what I'm doing in Neverwinter now, not, hey, let's rob a bank. But, that's what we did. We robbed a bank. And wow, that session was just, wow, that session took forever, because, okay, the plan was they were supposed to wait till a certain day, so there's, like, no guards, and then they could just break into the bank, no problem. But I rolled to see how many guards there would be the following day, and there were, like, tons of them. There were sniper teams. There were guards surrounding the bank. There were guards, like, 5 minutes away from the bank getting ready to come. And extract the thing they were they were trying to steal. And time was a huge factor in this session. And what they ended up doing was blowing a hole through the back, and then having one person go in. Well, this obviously set the alarm off doing that. And then, our one guy was like, alright, how about I, use this one spell and try to open up, one of the doors. And I'm like, okay, let's see if you can do that to open up one of the vault doors. Because... Sorry about that, I was spooked by something. But, basically they were like, alright, well, let's see if, I can open up this, one door so we can, get out. He goes to do that. And, if any of you guys have played, D&D, you know that rolling a natural one's probably the worst fucking feeling imaginable. But, alright, cool. Your spell accidentally, repaired the wall. Not only did it repair the wall, the wall went from rose quartz to solid titanium laced by a magical shield. And they were a little upset by that, because now one guy was trapped inside of a vault, clueless as to where the item was, and the other guy had to get in through the front of the building, and it took half an hour to steal a crown, because we were stealing the crown of someone. I forgot whose crown it was. They stole the crown finally, and they got chased by police, and it was just it took longer than it needed to. All they had to do was just wait one more day, and there would have been like no police, nothing. You're not escaping on me, asshole. Let's go. Get him. Come on, let me capture him. Yeah, got him. I don't know why I love playing this little game. I don't even care if I win or not. It's just funny to just capture these guys. But, yeah, like I was saying earlier, my D&D sessions with my friends, whether it's my campaign or my friend's campaign, it gets a little crazy sometimes, Like, well, we can't do these illegal things in real life, so how about we do them in D&D? Instead of, playing video games like a normal person. Except, I don't know, I consider you normal if you play in D&D, to be honest. You're pretty normal. I mean, look at me, I'm playing Neverwinter, so I guess I consider myself normal. That's a bit of a stretch, but... So if you're watching this live, in my chat box, can you tell me the results of the Seoul Dynasty versus New York Excelsior match? I'm pretty sure New York won. That wouldn't surprise me. But I'm actually just kind of curious as to the result. I kind of want to know if I'm right. Or if you're watching this after the stream, down in the comments if you could let me know. Because my Overwatch League app's been acting up lately, so I can't look up the scores on my app. I mean, I could probably look them up on Google, obviously, but... Basically what I'm trying to say is my phone's a giant piece of junk and I rarely use it. Unless I'm texting people or on Twitter. That's about it. Alright, I guess it's time to use this. That didn't hit. There, well, the delayed animation. I'm in trouble. I'm in danger. dire warning to keep away. Is it just gonna say that every time? I'll keep away if you ask me to. I'll just you know, just give me the word. Listen, please. Nah, I'm not gonna catch you. Wait, this way? Oh yeah, this quest. Alright, I'm remembering this quest now. I'm starting to remember this game more and more. It's been about a good year and a half now since I've been, well, not year and a half. It's been shorter than that. It's been about, I'd say it's been about a good year since I've been level 23, so. Yeah, on console, my warlock is max level, and just, I've been screwing around in that when I play on console, but I've been playing Final Fantasy a hell of a lot more, because Final Fantasy is so much better, to be honest. But when I do play on console, I just, like, I don't know, like, I just one-tap most things anyways, unless I'm doing, like, some really, really, really big and stupid dungeon kind of thing, or, like, what's that one chick's name? I can never remember her name. Valindra? Oh my god, I had trouble fighting her. Got a team of a few people try to fight her, and I struggled. We all struggled, but I think I struggled like the second most. One dude was like dead the entire thing. We went to fight Valindra, and like he died, and he just never got back up. It was pretty disgusting. Damn. 10:22 is probably my last quest. Soloed him with that. So scummy. I don't know why I keep playing my Cleric. Cleric's fun and all, but I only decided to play Cleric because I was going to have a couple friends play this game with, but one of them deleted it, and I don't know if the other one still has it or not. I'm going to ask him, actually, at some point, like, yo, we should play Neverwinter, but we usually play D&D anyway, so that's usually when I only see him anyways, if we're playing D&D or his English class gets canceled because his English professor's my old one, and basically he like never ever was in class. Like I got a D in that class because he was never a class. And I'm not saying like, you know, like I'm not making excuses like, you know, like, oh, you know, I got a D because I was never there. Like I also probably could have done better in a couple of my essays. But this guy, like, he was never ever a class. And he'd expect us to be like there like almost every day. He'd be like, you know, if you're absent more than 8 times, you know, you fail the class. Like all these, you know, little rules and whatnot. And it's like, dude, you're never here. And you know, there's a couple times where it was like he would like be there, but he'd show up like 20 minutes late. And we were supposed to have like for example, one time we're supposed to have it's just like we're supposed to watch a movie and do some assignment with that movie. Well, we never even got to finish the movie, and we were expected to do the assignment anyways. And so we're like, wait, what's that, professor? You want us to do an assignment we never finished? Because, you know, we never watched the full movie? Okay, makes sense. Oh no, my dog died. Press F to pay respects. And my dog's back. But, like, one time, it's like, okay, like, I understand, like, he said, like, you know, he had a heart condition. And it's like, okay, like, I understand that. But it's in my current English professor, you know, she told us, you know, like, professors get, like, 3 personal days. You know, they get 3 days where they can be like, you know, I just don't feel like coming. And it's just like, alright, like, that's pretty cool. But this dude, he was, like, never, ever there. Like, I wish I was exaggerating, but, like, 60% of the class, he was just not present. And my one friend is learning that the easy way, or the hard way, whichever you like to put it. But I told him, because, like, he told me, he's like, yo, I have Professor, I don't know, I have Professor No-Show. That's how I'm going to call him, because I don't want to say his real name. He'd be like, yo, do I have Professor No-Show? And I'm like, oh, no way, you have him as your English professor? Dude, he was my English professor last year. Or last semester. Well, yeah, technically last year, because it was last year at the time. And he was like, oh, no way, what's he like? You know, is he, like, strict, or, you know, how much homework does he give you and whatnot? I'm like, let me put it this way. He was never at my class. He's like, are you kidding me? I was telling him, you know, all of this about how, you know, he was never there. He would always show up late if he was. There was a couple times where he was early, which was a very, very, like, you knew something was wrong if he was earlier than us. But my favorite story is one time he showed up half an hour late, and we were all just sitting there, and again, he was half an hour late, and he gets there, and he's like, alright, just do, here's the thing, class is basically canceled, you know, just, I'm expecting you all to do your homework. Okay, bye, like, you know, waste my half an hour that I could have been doing either hanging out with friends or homework, or, I'll probably would have hanging out with friends, but basically, what happened that day was, or another day, was he canceled class. Okay, next day. He's also, my film professor. Next day, he doesn't show up again. he doesn't show up the following day. He shows up Thursday though. 3 days in a row canceled. And I was very concerned. I was like, is this dude okay? Like, I know he says a heart condition, but like, you were gone for 3 days. And we had this assignment due that we cannot turn in now because we didn't finish, the lecture. Like, you expect us to like look it up because, that's not cool. Or my other favorite story about this dude is he canceled a whole week. Like, he sent out an email one day and he was just like, class is canceled. And for some reason he couldn't get access to his email. So I would show up to class, and because my other class at the time was canceled, so this was my second class of that day. It was a Thursday, I believe. And I told him, I'm like, hey, my first class is canceled. My second class, no idea. And I probably should have assumed it was canceled because he didn't show up Tuesday or Wednesday, but I didn't want to take the risk. And I was going to send a friend over to go check it out for me, but I'm like, you know what? I've done that so many times, I'm actually just going to go there. And let's say I show up and he's not there and class is canceled. Well, I get to hang out with my friends then for the next 2 hours. Cool. So I get there, class is canceled, and I'm looking at my email. He didn't send an email. Again, I'm like, what the heck? He explains the next week, hey guys, I didn't have access to my email. Something was going on with the system. I'm like, right. Something's going on with the system. Right. But I don't know. Something tells me this dude had it, like he had something against me, or I don't know. And like, it probably doesn't, like, okay, and I have admitted this to my parents, I skipped like 2 of his classes before. It would have been 3, but I knew he was. I had a strong feeling he wasn't there, so I took a gamble. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna finish this game of pool. I don't care. And we walk up. We start roaming the halls, and I walk up there. Oh yeah, see, I called it. I knew he wasn't freaking here. Walk up there like, well, he wasn't here anyways, so don't even gotta worry about it. Because I was gonna finish the game of pool. And depending how long it would have took, I would have either showed up late or just not at all. But didn't even matter. He wasn't even there. And it was kind of funny too, because another dude who I sat next to, and he was a pretty chill guy. He's still a pretty chill guy. We haven't talked in a while, but everyone knows him, and he knows, me and my friends, so he's pretty chill and whatnot. But we saw him pass by the hall, and he was like, hey, what did I miss in film class? I'm like, oh, you missed nothing. It was canceled. I also didn't even, I wasn't even going to show up anyways. He's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. I was going to finish the game of pool, but it was canceled anyways. I just found out myself. And he was like, oh, well, alright then. That's kind of sweet, I guess. I'm like, yeah, well, at least neither of us got are absent. Can't give us an absence penalty if you're not there yourself, Professor. So, it was just he wasn't. I'm not saying he was bad. He was fine. I personally did not like him. Like, he came off as a very chill professor, but the way he graded was like disgusting because he used this system, some really dumb like software that we had to use, some dumb program, and all the homework was on there. And all the homeworks were backwards. Like, we'd be doing a lecture on how to do an argument paper. And for some reason, for our homework would be like, writing a thesis for I forget what kind of paper it was. it's like writing a thesis for like some other paper. You know, like we're doing a research paper. Like, why do we gotta do a thesis for this kind of paper if we're doing a thesis? Or we need a thesis for a research paper. Or there'll be an assignment for like grammar, and like difference, like one of these times was like grammar, and there's like difference between verbs, nouns, and pronouns, and all that weird stuff, like basic, like elementary school stuff. And we'll be talking about sentence structure, like okay, like that's kind of understandable, but instead of talking like it was more like, this is a sentence fragment, this is a run-on sentence, this is a comma splice, like that kind of stuff. It wasn't like breaking down the sentence into verb, adjective, subject, da, 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 da. I used to like want to be a writer. I should know this kind of stuff, but anyways, basically it was just tedious basic stuff. But the homework would be on a completely different topic. And it'd be like the same thing for the film class. Because like all the homeworks for the film class were the same homeworks as my English class. The only difference is for the film class, it was in the right order. Which was kind of dumb, because in film class we wrote critical analysis on films. We didn't write, argument papers or whatever, which makes sense for a film class, but I hated that class, failed that class 100%. That class was just the worst. And the homeworks in that class were no exception. Like the homeworks in that class were so dumb. You had to write 3 papers. If you missed one, you failed. And I did all the papers, and the reason why I failed was because the homeworks, I bombed on most of them, and if I didn't bomb on them, I totally like missed the assignment, because he would always stress this. He always stressed, like, the assignment's due on Thursday. Well, my English class assignments are due on Friday. And that was already confusing enough. I would be like, okay, well, is this assignment due at this day or this day? Like, crap, I can't remember. And, I wouldn't have a problem later after, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But where my problem would lie, and if I can remember what I did, what did I do? It was this. Yeah, it was this. 100% it was this. But what I would do is, go check the homeworks, do them. Well, one day he's like, homeworks are due on this day, like Wednesday or something like that, because he's not going to be there Thursday. I was like, the program grades it for you. Like, why does you not being here on Thursday matter? The program grades it for you. So, like, on days where he would do that, I just totally would just forget, because I would always be like, homework's due Thursday. Do the homework, the day before. And I was already programmed to be, homework's due on this day, do it this day. But, I don't know. I didn't like that professor one bit. I said that was my last quest, but it's not my last quest. Clearly. Or another professor, I didn't hate him. My history professor, he wasn't that bad. He was funny. He acted like he was a badass, but he was funny. Like, he always was like, I hate you, I don't like you, I don't want to be here, and I know you don't want to be here, so I'm gonna make this class as boring as possible. And he was that kind of professor, which I didn't mind him, because he was also funny. He was a sarcastic smartass. He told funny ass stories. My only issue with him, and he didn't give any homework. Like, that was the thing about him. Well, he gave homework, but it was like projects that you had to do, and they're all due by the end of the semester. You can start them whenever you want. He told us like the first and second day of class was like, here are these assignments. They're due at the end of the semester. I'll talk more about them when those assignments come. For now, just think about what you want to do, blah, 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 blah. One of the assignments was it's called, like, applied learning or something like that, and it was so dumb, and I know there's a few people out there who, they're gonna know instantly what I'm talking about, and exactly who I'm talking about. But basically, you had to, like, it was essentially, what's it called? Volunteer work or write a paper. And I wasn't, as much as I would have tried to do volunteer work, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna write this paper. Which the paper I did was, like, it was called Adopt a Dead Person. And you would take a dead person who wasn't famous, and they had to be, they had to have been alive between 1800 something, and today, but they had to be dead. It was, and you have to write a biography on that person's life. And I did a paper on some guy at my local cemetery who's kind of famous. I mean, I don't know if you consider having a Wikipedia article famous. I justified, my reasoning for choosing this guy at the end. I was like, yeah, like, this dude may be famous. He's famous amongst the history community. Not many people know his name, who he is, or what he actually did, for this town, or for the state for that matter. Like, not many people know that unless you're, into history. And I justified it like that, and the professor took it. And, I got a C in that paper. He took it. He was like, the paper wasn't bad. It was just, you could have used more information, but, the thing that kept you from getting a D was you're right, Not many people know this dude besides the history community. Like, see, point proven. And, I did a survey, too. I put the statistics on the survey, I asked a few people, friends and neighbors, do you know who this guy even is? Do you know what he even, did? And not a single person had a clue. I didn't even know who this guy was or what he did. So, it was like, there you go. The people that live here don't even know who the guy was or what he did. Kind of can't call him famous, now can you? But speaking of volunteer work, and oh my goodness, back in high school, oh my god, we had to do this one thing, and apparently it was mandatory to pass. Was going to do volunteer work, which I don't mind volunteer work, I guess. But, like, when it's, like, mandatory volunteer work, that's not volunteering. That's being voluntold to do something. And I don't like being voluntold to do something. But basically, I had to go to a retirement home and, do a little carnival for the elderly, which I didn't mind that. The part I minded was icky details I'm not going to get into. That's just personal stuff, but if you want to hear that story, I'll tell you down in my Discord, which I will, that'll be in the description. If you want to hear that icky story on my Discord. But, yeah, dark time of my life for sure. Not, it sounds worse than it actually is. Like, you'll if you want to hear the story, again, Discord in the description, but you're going to be like, dude, you made that sound worse than it was. And it's gonna sound that way, but to me, like, that was, like, a horrible time of my life. It was the worst, best time of my life, I guess you'd say. I don't know. But that was also very gross. But the only plus side of that was we got to eat pizza and leave early. I got out an hour early from school. Like, oh my god, big deal. I got an hour early from school. Big deal. And I was getting text messages from friends at, like, because it started at, like, 8. I'm getting text messages from people at 10, because we all did different things. We all had to sign up for different things. And I was getting people from, or, other groups, at 10 o'clock. My friends were like, yo, I'm at home right now. I'm done. I'm like, We just started. Like, we just, you know, the people just showed up. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm at the retirement home. And they're like, oh, wow. Like, they were silenced, and they were just like, wow. Like, okay, well, it sucks to be you. Like, yeah, it sucks to be me. Please send help. But as soon as I got home, first thing I did was I did my biology homework. I was a good student, and I'm totally lying. I totally got on the Xbox, and I totally played, what was it? Not Overwatch. Playing something else. I believe I was playing BO3. I believe this was around the time I was playing BO3. But yeah, that was crazy. I'm gonna roam around and tell some more stories, cause why not? What other stories can I tell? I was very quiet throughout half of the stream. I'm gonna tell some stories. Well, let me dig through my archives of stories. / drink this water bottle while I think of a story. Oh, okay. I think I got another good story. So, this is another D&D story, and I just find this story kind of funny sometimes. So, basically, me and some friends while we were playing, what happened was we were waiting for a friend of ours to show up. So, usually I don't allow this, but sometimes I will. Sometimes I'll like play for people, which I told them, starting because we do our campaigns by like books, and like we have like our own book 1, our own book 2, and blah blah blah. And I told everyone like book 2, no more playing for people and no more playing. Or no, you guys can't do the same thing. But basically, what happened was a friend of mine was like, play for me. I'm gonna be, late. All right, cool. And so two of my other friends were like, we're still here. We still want to play. Blah blah blah. They get a combat with a bunch of assassins. They kill all the assassins with ease. This one dude who was made team leader by the end decided, okay, let's loot the bodies. Didn't even, and I've pulled this trick before. It was a very similar trick, at least, where I would be like, are you sure? Yeah, let's loot the body. Okay. Goes to loot the body, triggers a suicide vest, and dies. Now, my other friend was just laughing his ass off. And he's a cleric, so he's like, alright, I'm gonna bring him back to life. Alright, cool. You have 2 lives left, don't screw this up. I'm gonna loot the next body. Triggers another suicide vest, blows up. I'm gonna resurrect you one more time, but, I'm not doing that again. Next time, you're gonna have to get out on your own. So, you would think he learned his lesson. Nope, goes to loot another body. Hallelujah, praise the Lord, he looted a body without a suicide vest. So what do you think he does? He goes for another body. I'm gonna loot this next body. Triggers a suicide vest and dies. Now, the way I handle my death system in my campaign is, if you die, you go to, unless you're resurrected within a certain amount of time, you go to a realm called Purgatory, where really bad things can happen. And the only way you can get out of Purgatory is by escaping. You can't be brought out by other people unless you're resurrected. Which, our only person that can resurrect was our cleric, and our cleric was like, I am not resurrecting you, dude, so goodbye. So our friend was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get through Purgatory. He gets through Purgatory. Sort of. And Oh, wow. New York did win. Shocker. Not really, but... Anyways, basically, this guy, what he did was... He went through Purgatory. I'm like, okay, well, there's a Geist in front of the portal. I do that all the time. Like, there's a Geist in front of the portal. You know, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna fight this thing, or are you gonna try to find another portal? He goes to gun it for the portal. Because the joke is that there's no other portal. Like, that's your only way out, is that portal. But the portal always moves to a different location, always moves to a different direction. So he goes to fight the Geist, and the Geist only has one attack. He goes to possess you. That's his only attack. He tries to possess you, and that's it. He never deals damage to you. It just always goes to possess you. Well, this dude gets possessed by another Geist, which, if you're watching this, you still have the Geist. According to my notes, you still have the Geist. So, if you know... I might take it away from you if I feel nice. Like, I might just rip it out of you myself with my old character. Which I put my old character in because I played and DM'd to test out one of the classes at first, and then I made my character part of the campaign. I'm like, you know what, he's part of the campaign now, and my campaign's just like one giant Final Fantasy reference and Overwatch reference, and it's just one giant like gaming reference. Like, there's so many. Like, these guys had to break into Queen Angela the Merciful's palace. You know, if you play Overwatch, figure that one out. You know, they had to. What else did they have to do? There's one other thing they had to do that was a reference to another game, and I can't remember. But the queen of the Empire, her name was Queen Elżbieta Bozak. Ella from Rainbow Six Siege. You know, again, figure that one out. You know, or what else is there? Oh, my old character. Back when we were fighting the first boss, which my one friend, the one who triggered the suicide vests, before he was a half demon, like tiefling, like bard kind of thing, and I don't know how, I don't remember what the hell he was, but basically, he was just, you know, getting bullied by like everyone, and he was like, you know, I'm gonna switch to the enemy side, you know, see how far that gets me, and so I decided to use this because we made up our own mechanics and stuff like that. Like, we made up a lot of our own stuff. We made up our own mechanics and whatnot. And one of the mechanics I made up was a card system, where basically there's a deck of cards, you know, the 52 and the Joker, and you can go to a card shop, kind of like, you know, what are those people called? Like those fortune tellers with the cards, and you'd essentially pick a number, 1 through 53, and then, you know, you get a random rarity. Well, I had everyone got a golden queen of hearts, so I can test out this mechanic. Well, we were fighting a god, and this dude who was kind of overpowered at the time, and I warned him, like, if you die, you don't go to purgatory, because, you know, people that are on the enemy side, like, basically in the story, people on the enemy side didn't have, like, souls, so if they died permanently, basically. They couldn't go to purgatory, so they were all permadeath kind of people, and so, like, if you die for good. He's like, okay, whatever. Well, I used my Queen of Hearts, and I summoned a chick named Claire F. Sarah. Well, if you can't figure out what the Claire F part is, Claire F, Lightning, Final Fantasy, again, there's so many video game references that I made in my own campaign, it's disgusting. But my old character would end up marrying her at the end of the game, and it was just, there's so many references to my video game references, dude. I made a couple Neverwinter references. There's a lot of magic references, too. Like, some of the spells, like Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage. Like, we made up our own spells and stuff. Like, we have like our own little Lightning Bolt, which deals 3 damage. Lightning Helix, 3 damage, you gain 3 life. You know, gotta figure that one out. No, I wonder what that's a reference to. There's just so many, and like there was another reference. This was back when KCI was big, which we never got to this encounter because they basically got to skip it because they killed someone. But they were supposed to break into a factory known as the the Killer Clan Ironworks. If you can't figure that one out, Killer Clan Ironworks. That's a reference to Krark Clan Ironworks. And again, I make so many magic references in my game. It's disgusting. And there's like magic references, Final Fantasy references, Overwatch references, Call of Duty references, a few Rainbow Six references that basically I'm not getting rid of them. Like the Queen's gonna stay, that she has to stay, but since I quit Siege, I can't put more Siege references in. But like one of the goddesses, Meridia, she's a reference to Metroid in the area Meridia. My campaign is just a boatload of video game references and just random things that I come up with. And one of my favorite parts about my campaign is the fact that one of my friends, he keeps trying to get with every female character. And I told him, like, bud, look, from now on, if you don't roll a natural 20, every time you try to hook up with one of my female characters, you're going into combat with them. And they are going to one-tap you. And I kept throwing out different scenarios as to, like, you know, how they would do that. And I gave an example. I'm like, alright, and I used the chick Claire as an example. I'm like, okay, well, she goes into combat with you. Turn 1, she does this. Turn 2, she deals, like, 250,000 damage to you. Your life total is 13. Do the math. What's 250,000 minus 13? You're dead. Lay down, you're dead. And he's like, yo, well, I get 3 lives in combat, so can someone just resurrect me? I'm like, no, first of all, you'll be in a down but not out state. And I don't think anyone's gonna want to revive you, so you're gonna have to pick yourself up. And she'll just kill you again. And then you're gonna have to pick yourself up. And then if she kills you again, you're going to Purgatory, bud. And if she chases you to Purgatory, that's gonna be really sad when you could never leave Purgatory. But that didn't keep him away. I feel like he's gonna do it anyways. I feel like he's still gonna try going to combat with her, and then, oh, whoops! Accidentally, went to combat. That must suck. But anyways, it's getting late where I live. You can actually see the clock. It's not. Probably not. You're probably, screaming right now like, oh, what a wuss. It's only 11 o'clock. But I need sleep. And I actually have class tomorrow, which sucks. But, I shouldn't have class tomorrow, but I do. And it sucks, because class sucks. I also gotta see what the hell is going on with my schedule, because my schedule might get screwed up on Tuesday. Because one of my professors, who I don't like her one bit. I really do not like her. And the biggest reason I don't like her is because I'll do the assignments, and like how, God forbid I miss one assignment, and she like flips like complete crap on people. Like, she pulled me and one other person out of class just to be like, look, if you can't, do the assignments, you're gonna have to drop this class. And I'm sitting here like, seriously, I missed 2 assignments. Like, oh my god, I'll make up the assignments and take the D. Not like that, but I'll I'll get a D for the assignment instead of, you know, the F that I have now on it. Despite the fact that it's like 2 points for the assignment, you know, I'll take the you know, the penalty. Just, you know, quit yelling at me to drop the class because I missed, you know, God forbid, yeah, I missed an assignment. You know, and it's like, one time I had to miss class to talk to another professor because I really needed to talk to that professor about how to make up an assignment because I wasn't there that day. So I'm like, look, I need to make up this assignment. You know, can I talk to you? And I walked up to into the professor in the hall one day. The other professor that keeps yelling at me, bitching at me. I'm like, look, you know, I had talked to that professor. I had to make up the assignment. If I didn't make up the assignment, I was failing the class, and I didn't want to fail the class. So I, you know, did the right thing and said, hey, can I talk to you during office hours and make up this assignment? He was like, you need to go down to see your advisor and see if you can take a different class because that's just ridiculous. I'm, oh, sorry. I almost said something back, but I just rolled my eyes and walked away. But I almost fired back and was like, you know, well, sorry that, you know, I'm trying to pass a different class, you know. Sorry, like, I'm not just taking your class, I'm taking 3 other classes, you know. It's like, I really don't like her. But apparently something might go down where the class might get moved for a different time, and, like, classes might get merged or something, which I never heard of my entire life. I didn't know that. You know, for some reason, you know, like, oh, the class is too small, you know, so we might combine classes. I never heard that ever. I never thought it was even possible. I always thought that, you know, if people were just dropping the class like flies, which I wonder why people are dropping the class. Because you're a bitch. You know, I don't know why people are dropping your class. But, you know, put 2 and 2 together, you know, you're pulling people out and bitching at them for either, you know, God forbid they don't show up to not fail another class or they miss an assignment, you know. It's like, no big deal. I missed the assignment, okay? And, like, I'll make it up. Cut me some slack, you know? And it's like, I don't know. Like, to be honest, I might just talk to my advisor and be like, look, can I drop this class and take something else for the second half of the semester and then still somehow pass the semester? Because I'd like to just pass this semester. So, I don't know. I'm thinking tomorrow I might just do that. Because this is just getting, she's just getting ridiculous. She's gotten on my nerves. Like, I've had some awful professors. Like, my first semester, I hated 2 of my professors. But the thing is like, I can't say I hated my math professor. She wasn't bad. She was just, I don't know. She seemed like one of the professors that were like too. She was like one of the professors that were like, she knew that, you know, she was the only one interested in teaching math. You know, she was like the only one interested in math. Like, everyone else was like there just because they were told they had to be there for their major. Which, I guess I can't say I hated her. I didn't really hate her. I didn't hate her. I think I hated the class. Because she wasn't bad. But I was like, I already took the class before. It was my second time taking the class, but I just didn't take it for credit in high school. Like, I knew the material, so I was like, there's no point in taking this class. Why am I here? But my biggest issue, like, that one English professor, like, I really didn't like him. He was very chill. But wow, I did not like him. I didn't really like him. He was a chill dude. Like, he seems like one of those kind of guys that's like, you know, if you hang out with him in real life, like out in the real world, he's like probably like the most chill guy out there. But, you know, in class, you know, he's a little, I don't know, but I can't say I really hated him either. But Like, I didn't like strongly dislike him. I just disliked him as a professor, but like as a person, I didn't mind him. Like he cared for everyone. Yeah, like you know he would sit down and talk to you. Like he would point out like, hey, like I see you're struggling in this class. Is there anything I can do to help? But like in terms of the way he ran the class, like that was uncomfortable. But I don't know. I can't say I really hated him. But I probably hated my history professor the most. Despite the fact that he was funny and he was cool and whatnot, I probably hated him the most. I'm gonna keep moving around while I'm ranting. But he was the only professor I actually like really hated. Like as a person and hated to be there and everything else like that. I really didn't like him. Which, you know, he'd always preach about, you know, like, you know, oh, you know, I act like a dick because, you know, I have a reputation to save, you know, I'm this way for a reason because I want people to not like me. It's like, well, mission successful, dude, because your class is bullshit. But, like, this professor that I'm talking about, this one lady, like, oh my goodness, I hate her. She gets on my nerves. Like, and it's, like, even, like, the people that, cause, like, I don't even, real talk, I didn't even want to take the class. I was recommended the class, and I was like, whatever, sure, I'll take the class. Whatever, you know, take it. I'll try to deal with it. I didn't expect the class to be just not even just awful, but like there's a project due in a few days or next week, I believe, or next week or 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a project due, and she's gonna bitch at me when I'll get it done, and I won't hand it in to her. Like, I'll have it on me, I just won't be able to, like, turn it in, like, last minute or something like that, maybe. Like, that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna turn it in last minute. Because I'm gonna try to get this other assignments done, and I'm gonna turn it in last minute, and then she's gonna be like, you know, you dropped the class. Like, go away. And it's like, you know, I'm not just taking your class. You know, I'm taking 3 other classes. And sorry that I don't want to fail my biology class, you know? Like, sorry that bio class is, you know, not only an interesting class, a fun class, but a class that I'm taking in general. You know, and if I fail that class, well, then there goes, you know, everything. You know, I lose everything if I fail this class. If I fail the semester. You know, and it's like, you know, I'm trying not to fail your class either, but I was, you know, the semester is only halfway over, not even halfway over, a little less than halfway over, and I almost just, like, failed bio class because I had a doctor's appointment and missed a big assignment. And I'm thankful that my bio professor was like, oh, no worries, dude, you know, you can, you know, I'll give you all the materials that you need, just fill out everything, and then just, you know, whatever notes that aren't included, if you can get them off of one of your lab mates, that'll be cool. And I'm assuming I did good on the assignment. But this other professor was just like, you know, she yelled at me in the halls, like in the middle of the halls while I was with a friend, just, you know, as if it wasn't already, you know, embarrassing. She was like, you know, you have to see your advisor, you know, and see if you can, you know, take care of this, because this is getting ridiculous. You know, you have to be in class. And I just rolled my eyes and walked away and went into the library right in front of her. Passed the success center, I went straight to the library, because it's like, again, sorry, I'm trying to pass a class. You know, I'd like to pass this class. Like, I want to pass your class too, don't get me wrong, but I'd love to also pass this class too. It's just like, I don't know, like, it's just, I don't know, like, I'm half tempted tomorrow, like, after all my classes, just go to my advisor and be like, look, I see that there's open seats for this class. Is it possible that I can drop this class and take this class instead without screwing with my credit maximum? And if they say yes, I'm gonna be like, sweet, I'm dropping. Like, don't worry, you don't gotta worry about me. But then that's gonna affect the time I get home. I get home an hour, or not an hour later, but like half an hour later. But I have to get that class over with anyways. I have to take that class next semester anyway, so it's like whatever. I don't know. I got a new advisor too, so I gotta talk to that person. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna remind myself tomorrow to talk to my advisor and be like, look, here's my situation. You know, the professor thinks I should drop. I can't stand the professor. I can't stand the class. The class isn't for me. You know, I've been trying. Can I drop without, you know, any risks and take this class? And I'm praying to God that they're like, yeah, no problem, you know. You just gotta, you know, sign this paper or whatever. I'm hoping the most I gotta do is like, you know, they're just like, yeah, sure, let me take you up front and then show you how to do it. To which I'll be like, I already know how to do it. I know how to drop. Just tell me how to add the class. And I will take it gladly. Because I really do not like that professor. And I know I'm using my channel to rant about professors and whatnot. And it's like, I only go to a community college and I'm dealing with this kind of crap, you know. And it's like, I've had teachers in high school where it's like, I can't stand them, you know, I hate them and whatnot. Well, not so much in high school, but like in middle school. Like, I had teachers that I hated in middle school. I can't believe I went half the stream without, like, talking, and then this half I just talk like crazy, and I said I was gonna go to bed, but I'm procrastinating, because this game's fun, and I have more stories I want to tell, because I'm a nice person. But I had, like, some teachers in high school, or not, middle school, which my first and only time I got detention was because my reading professor, or not professor, teacher, I'm used to saying professor, my reading teacher, oh my god. She was on par with the professor I was complaining about earlier. She's on par. Go away. I'm not clicking you. I didn't mean to click you at least. But she's on par with that professor. Because that professor, you know, she bitches at me, complains to me. That teacher, who was also my science teacher, would bitch at me, complaining to me all the time. Like, she bitched at me because I was using a pencil that was, like, sharpened down to, like, half of its size. And it's, like it's only half the normal size. Like, big deal. You know, it's a pencil, and it still works. You know, like, why are you complaining? Like, you know, you want me to, you know, draw blood and, you know, write down with blood? Like, I can, like, you know, take a needle, poke my finger, and, you know, draw blood and use that. Is that what you want me to do? Which, quick off-topic story. A kid I knew back in middle school, he made that joke and he got a referral, which was basically like, you know, you get sent to the assistant principal's office, he calls your parents and says you got detention, and that's all a referral really was. But I ended up getting my first and only referral because I was accused of flipping someone off and talking, and I said, like, I don't know, the kid said, like, I flipped them off and said, fuck you. And I told her, like, you know, I didn't say that. You know, he said, fuck you. You know, I have a friend sitting next to me who said, fuck you. And he admitted, he's like, yeah, I said it. And the teacher said nothing to him, but, you know, don't say it again, it's a bad word. And then she was like, you know, why'd you flip him off? I'm like, well, because he was talking crap and he flipped me off. And this kid basically got away with, you know, talking shit and flipping me off, and I had to go to the principal's office. I had to go to the assistant principal's office, and I basically got yelled at. I think I was grounded for like a day. I don't even remember what my punishment was, but I was sent to detention. And the next day, I hear that the kid gets in a fight with someone, and I'm like, oh, cute. You know, and basically, I tried my hardest to get this kid in trouble. And at one point I did. I overheard something about him. He got into, like, some, like, sort of... It was back in... Fast forward into, like, high school. This was back when, vaping and drooling and all that was becoming, you know, a big thing. Caught him doing that. I walk out of the bathroom, assistant principal's right there, and I'm like, hey, there's like 3 students in there vaping. And she was like, oh boy, here we go again. I'm like, oh, you know, right? You know, 3 students vaping, unheard of. And she was like, alright, well, thanks for letting me know. And next thing I know, the security guard, who was my track coach at the time, basically shows up and busts all 3 of them. As soon as they're all about to go walk out, busts all 3 of them. And I'm laughing my ass off, because I was on my way to an English class at the time. And I'm sitting there laughing my ass off, like, oh my god, I just got this kid in trouble. Like, you know, that's payback for, you know, getting me in trouble. And I hear that this kid gets suspended for, like, a week. Like, he gets in-school suspension for a week. I'm like, well, that's what you get. You know, don't mess with me. And, you know, me and that kid, we never really spoke. And, you know, it's like, why are you, like, who the hell are you to, you know, go around saying stuff and, you know, lying and then getting me in trouble, you know? Like, of course I'm gonna get my payback, you know? You sit there and lie to get me in trouble. You expect me not to retaliate? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna retaliate. I'm going to get you in trouble. You know, watch your back, kind of thing. Got him in trouble. But I hated that teacher. Like, she was just the absolute worst. And we had to do these assignments where we'd read a book. And how our schedules were set up was we had different days. We had A days and B days. On A days we had certain classes, on B days we had certain classes. If I'm not mistaken, I had the reading class every A day. And basically what the reading class was for was, you know, reading. You know, it was to help reading comprehension and all that dumb stuff. So this lady, you know, gives these little assignments where it's like we get, we basically have to write, you know, how we felt or something we noticed about, you know, the chapter that we're assigned. And it's like, that doesn't all sound bad. It was like only specific things we were allowed to write. And like, we basically had to write an essay, essentially, in these tiny little boxes. And it was like, you know, like, we're 6th graders, you know, and we're being told to do, like, work for, like, a college student. Like, we're given these tiny little boxes, you know, that 800 fucking word essay, 3 pages, you know, on 1 chapter. Go. Like, you okay there, miss? But, another thing that I really hated about her was, besides, you know, the reading assignments that she made us do, which were complete and utter bullshit, was these, group things we had to do. We had to share our homework. You know, that was our way of, you know, proving, hey, you know, we did the assignment. Was we had to get in little groups, you know, like book clubs, essentially, and talk about, you know, whatever the chapter was. Like, we're on chapter 9, you know, we're gonna talk about chapter 9 in our little book club. You know, and it was, like, dumb, too, because she'd watch us, you know, do our little book club thing, and she would always come up to me and just be like, you know, like, I would make a comment, you know, about what someone said, or I'd make a comment about, you know, what I said. Like, I'll give out, you know, what I thought about the chapter, because we would have to say, you know, like, how do you feel about the chapter? You know, what are some things we noticed? Da, da, da. And she would always just do it to me and, like, one other person, who was a good friend of mine, and I still consider him a good friend of mine. We haven't spoken in a while, but I still consider him a good friend. Got me through high school, or at least freshman year, that's for sure. But, basically, like, he would always, or she would always ask me and him, like, she would always quiz us. It would always be just us. You know, it's like a group discussion, you know, talk to the group, and she would always insist me and him answer. It's just like, there's like 6 other people here, you know, you ask them. Like, no, it's just us. Okay, cool. You know, aren't you great? And I don't know, like, I really did not like her at all. There's a lot of teachers I didn't like in middle school. There's some teachers I didn't like in high school. I can't complain about a lot of my high school teachers, though. Like, some of them were nice. But, like, my biology teacher, she hated me. Like, there was no denying that. She hated me. I can't. Like, I passed that class off of, like, an active, like, it took an active guide to pass that class, not gonna lie. It took an active guide to pass the exam, not gonna lie. But she was, I'm pretty sure my bio teacher was after me. And this was AP biology. Like, that, this wasn't, like, you know, normal bio. Like, we had living environment, which was basically like high school biology, like, in, like, you know, like, just basically was like an introduction to, like, college level bio, essentially. And then AP bio was essentially the bio class I'm taking now, which is fundamentals of cells and cell bio, which is basically like what my AP biology course was for like 3 months. But my issue was like, she was after me. I swear she was after me. Like, I knew the material, I understood it. It was when it came to tests and quizzes was when I struggled. And it's like, it's that kind of effect where you're like, you know, you sit there and you take this test, you sit there and you go to take the quiz, and you're like, I just forgot everything. You know, and it's like, she'd pull me over at the end of class sometimes, and she'd be like, you know, you got a 70 on this quiz, you know, what's happening, you know, last quiz you got a 90, now you got a 70, like, what happened, you know, what's the issue? And it's like, okay, I get it, like, you care, but it's like, I went from a 90 to a 70, and it was just one quiz, and I'd prove her wrong by, you know, here comes the test, and I get an 80. You know, and I'd be like, well, who's the one struggling now? Like, you know, I think I failed one test in that entire course, and that was the evolution exam. And the evolution exam was the most confusing thing. Like, it's not like evolution was confusing. It was the questions, the way they were worded, were, like, so terrible. Like, if the questions were worded a lot better, I probably would have got, like, the AP had a lot of questions that were worded, like, so difficultly. Or so difficultly, that was not proper grammar one bit. I mean, a grammar Nazi myself. Let me rephrase that. They were so improperly worded. And it was like, I can still, like, get what it's trying to say. Like, but these questions on this evolution exam were like, the answer's B. And I'd get the test back and the answer was like A somehow. Yeah, I don't know, I never understood that, but in the AP exam, you know, I take that exam, and the one thing I really didn't like about this AP biology class, we spent like 2 months talking about this one thing. It's called chi-squared. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's not confusing. Like, it can be confusing, but once you practice it, it's, like, not that hard. Like, we spent, like, I think, like, 2 months on it or something like that. And for the AP exam, we spent a whole day talking about it. There was not one question on the AP exam about it. Not one question. And it's like, I get it, like, you know, you don't know what's going to be on the exam. But we were behind for a while, and I'm like, oh, I wonder why we're behind. You know, maybe it couldn't have been because, you know, we spent, like, so long on a unit that we didn't need to know. And it's just like, again, I get it. You know, you don't know what's going to be on the exam until the exam comes. But, you know, we're so behind. Well, maybe because we, you know, took so damn long. On, you know, talking about this chi-squared, and there was not one question on the test. Like, there's one question where it was like, you could have used it, but it was like, you know, you may use it. Like, it's explicitly said, you know, you may use this. There's a shortcut that we knew. Like, sorry about that. But we all knew a shortcut, so it was like, well, let's do the shortcut. And the shortcut worked. Like, when the answers came out, or not when the answers came out, we were talking about the question amongst ourselves afterwards. After the exam, we all went out and talked about the questions. We're like, you know, well, this question, you all did the shortcut, right? Yeah. What'd you all get? We all got the same answer. I'm like, well, if we all got that question wrong, we're screwed. Oh, I think there was one person who said she didn't use the shortcut, but she still got the same answer. Well, we all got the right answer then, clearly, and if we didn't, we're all screwed. But I ended up passing that class, but there was one field trip we had to go to, right? And it was quote-unquote mandatory. It was like, you know, it was 100 points. You know, it was basically a test grade. You know, if you don't show up, you essentially fail a test. But there was a way to make it up, which I had to take the road to make it up. Well, I didn't have to. Let me rephrase that. I didn't want to go. It was basically what was going to happen was we were all going to go to some natural park. I believe it was the local natural park. But basically, we were going to go down there, and she was going to take her biology class there. And what was going to happen was basically us as BAP bio students, we were going to essentially teach them, you know, a lot of things. You know, we were going to basically be the tour guides. Like, we were going to have a guide with us to take us around the trails. But we basically had to tell them, like, you know, hey, this is this, 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 this is this, and this. We had to, like, collect samples and whatnot and this other stuff. And it was like, you know, normal stuff. But it was like, I didn't want to go. Like, going to nature, I don't mind walking around and, you know, walking around and viewing nature. But the day was, like, it was calling for, like, 70 degrees. And if any of you guys know about going to, like, a natural park or something like that, and the weather calls for 70 degrees, and the natural park has, like, no trees, or, like, there's, like, the area my group was going to be assigned to, there was, like, no trees. And on top of that, the water was, like, there's, like, no water, basically. Like, water? What's that? You know? And, long story short, at least for this park, high 70s means, like, 80s and 90s. Which, like, 85 is my limit. You know, if it's past 85, I need to sit in a pool or sit in, with my AC on, 3 box fans, this other fan that's in my room, window like shut and like caulked shut, so the cold air doesn't get out. Door shut. You know, like once it hits like the 90s, it gets rough for me. I mean, granted, I live in New York State, so you know it's like the cold weather. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna be smart. You know, I'm not gonna run outside with, you know, just my underwear on and be like, you know, look at me, you know, it's negative 69 out and I'm wearing them underwear. Like, first of all, if it's negative 69 out, we're probably all gonna die. But I would never, you know, run out in my underwear in like negative weather. Like right now it's like 20, maybe 10, maybe 20 degrees out outside. I'm not gonna run out my underwear and, you know, like, hey guys. I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna at least put like, you know, like a hoodie on or whatnot. But like, I'll get like weird looks when like everyone's like, it'll be like a blizzard out. Everyone's wearing like giant coats. You know, the size of the classroom, basically, and like all this other stuff. I'll walk in with like a hoodie, sweatpants, sneakers. Everyone would look at me like, what the hell? And I'll be sitting like, you know, look who's talking. You know, you're wearing your full body armor like you're, you know, ready to be deployed in Afghanistan. You know, I've lived in New York State for 18 years. You know, I'm used to this kind of weather. I'm not gonna like, oh my goodness, you know, it's 20 degrees outside. Time to put on my body armor and, you know, deploy myself to Afghanistan like you. Like, the people will like look like they're, you know, they're ready to get deployed to Afghanistan. With, it looks like they're wearing body armor essentially. It's just, it's insane. I don't understand it. I wish I could, but I don't know. It's just English. I can't speak it. English, mother. Do you speak it? But it's always been confusing to me. And I don't know. It's because people, like, I don't understand how people can go out in weather like that. Like, I'm one to talk. You know, I'm sitting here wearing a hoodie, but you know, pick your poison. Wear a hoodie or look like I'm deploying myself to Afghanistan. I'll take the wearing the hoodie and looking like an idiot for, you know, 5 minutes until you realize you're an idiot. You know, thanks. Press Alt to return to game. Okay, I'm spamming Alt. Now what? There we go. I don't know. I'm gonna sit here and rant for a bit before I go, because I am actually gonna go to bed real soon. But I don't know. Truly, I can't understand people that do that. Like, I get it. Like, you get cold, but there's getting cold, and there's like, well, maybe you should like not live in New York State if you're not used to the cold by now. Like, you're 19, 20, you're not used to the cold. Like, if it hits like, you know, the single digits or goes like negative like 1 degree, 2 degrees, whatever, I'll put a coat on, fine. But if it's like 20 degrees outside and people are like, why aren't you wearing a coat? It's New York State, I expect this kind of weather. You know, like, what do you want from me? That kind of thing. Like, what do you want from me? Hold on one moment. I'll continue to rant in 1 sec. Alright, there we go. Hopefully I can rant freely without push to talk. I've had push to talk on this whole thing because I expected people to just burst into my room, but people won't burst in my room now. too late for anyone to burst tomorrow. But I don't know, just back to what I was talking about earlier, though, with awful teachers and whatnot. I don't know, like, in high school, I didn't have, there were a lot of teachers I hated, well, disliked, but I didn't hate them, besides my bio professor. Because, like, again, you know, I'm not gonna, okay, you know, field trip, cool. Not going to school, got it. Because that's basically what a field trip was. Like, because the teacher would tell everyone, like, hey, there's a field trip on this day, you know, the student won't make it, da-da-da-da. Those were the best days, too. When, like, there's a field trip going on, and, like, nobody was at school. So I'd, like, showed up in all my classes, there'd be, like, no people. Or, like, my history class, my professor, teacher. I don't know why I keep saying professor. He was a teacher, not a professor, but he was basically, like, you know, he was kind of like my history professor. But I actually liked this guy. He was a dick, but he was a funny dick. You know, he was a dick in a funny way. You know, he acted like he was a, you know, a big shot, like he was a dick, like he hated everyone. But he was funny. You know, he could be funny. He could, you know, lighten the mood despite being a serious teacher and being whatnot, you know. Actually, I didn't mind him. Well, like, in his class, he'd be like, you know, like, there would be no one there because there were like 5 or 6 people there because there was a field trip, and he'd be like, alright, I'm gonna pop in a movie, you know, either watch the movie or do homework, whatever, you know, just don't fall asleep or I'm gonna quiz you all on this. And then he himself would fall asleep, which would be like, oh, well, if he fell asleep, and we all just put our heads down and go to sleep. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he would, if on those kind of days, which those happen frequently, you know, he would fall asleep, or maybe he wouldn't fall asleep, and I sat right in front of him. I'd fall right asleep. I wouldn't, like, on those kind of days, because he didn't care. Like, he'd say, like, I'm gonna quiz you on this movie. He would never quiz us on the movie. Like, half the class would be asleep, and it was, like, nothing. Like, he didn't care. You know, no, he knew none of us were invested in the movie. He knew none of us wanted to watch. He didn't care. He didn't care. We didn't care. You know, and it was like, whatever. You don't care, we don't care. Good night. You know, wake us up when it's second block. But my biology teacher, I can't say I hated her. I kind of hated her a little bit. She was a little annoying. And anyway, back to the other story. Actually, I didn't finish that story. The story about the one field trip. Basically, I didn't know if my mom was even gonna let me skip that field trip, because I was like, look, Mom, I don't want to go. It's gonna be boring. I can make up the assignment somehow. Please just let me stay home. No, you should go. You know, it's a big test grade. I'm like, I can make it up when we get to the final project. I have to make it up during the final project. Just please let me stay home. And after a lot of begging, she was just like, fine, but you're doing homework. And I'm like, okay, Mom, whatever you say. And I slept and played Xbox all day, not gonna lie. And she was just like, nah. I mean, I did all my homework anyways. Like, most of my homework was done. I just had an assignment due that day. And as soon as my little brother got home, I'm like, type, done. Oh, I didn't mean it. I actually clicked buttons, I'm not gonna lie. But I was just like, done. Like, it was nothing, and it was insane. But what other, let's see, that was senior year. I loved my English teacher. She was really good. She was nice. She was funny. I enjoyed her class. I don't know, she was good, really. She was really cool. She was really chill. You know, she worked with you too. Like, you know, like, hey, I'm not gonna be here on this day. I know the assignment's due on this day. Can I turn it in the next day? And, you know, normally a teacher would be like, okay, but there's some sort of penalty. She'd be like, I was gonna move the due date anyways. you know, they'd be like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. You know, and it's like one day, my biology class, we were going to a college to do a lab. And oh my god, I hated that lab so much. It was fun going to that college, but oh my god, I hated that lab so much. My group, I didn't mind my group, but my group was like, we were really confused compared to the other groups. Like they were just blowing through it, and my group was just sitting there like, what do we do? But we blew through it afterwards, and then had lunch, blew through the second half, and then it was all good. But basically, there was an assignment due that day, and I told her beforehand, and she was like, okay, we can work on something, I'll let you know when I can. And the reason why I really liked her was because, again, she could work with you, but if you had an assignment that was late, she'd let you turn it in, and then like the penalty would be like a couple points, not a big deal, and it was like, I don't know, I really enjoyed her class, because like after that whole scenario, basically it was we were supposed to have I believe we were supposed to have a meet that day, but it got canceled. So we were supposed to have a meeting, and I didn't show up at the meeting either. But because I had to talk to that teacher, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna talk to her, because that's more important than showing up to a track meeting for like 5 minutes. And she was just like, just here's the thing, the assignment's due today. You told me you're going to this field trip and you weren't gonna be able to turn it in today. Try to turn it in today. If you can't turn it in today, turn it in tomorrow. I'll take it for full credit. Just when you turn it in, remind me that you were at the field trip, and I'll still give you full credit as long as you do the assignment. Got a 95 in that assignment. I got one thing wrong. I had a really bad, it was a stupid mistake, very stupid mistake. I had a sentence that was supposed to be in another paragraph, but I ended up freaking, because I started rearranging things, and I forgot to take that sentence into another paragraph, and that was just a nightmare. So yeah, that was, wow, I should have went to bed when I said I was going to bed, but look at me now, 11:41 p.m., still not in bed. What a surprise. But yeah, I really liked her. My study hall professors, teachers, I didn't mind them. One of them was my old astronomy teacher. She was really nice. I really liked her. I was like one of the best students in the class, actually. That's not even like me like bragging. Like, I had 100 in the class until I took a quiz, and I had a 95 in that quiz, and I'm like, is there anybody can retake this quiz? I had 100. No, I really liked her, and the projects in that class were easy too. Like, I got 100 in all most of the projects. I believe there was one where I got like a 95 because I turned it in late, but that class was super easy. And the final, we got to make the final and all the questions. So like, we each had to turn in 2 different questions for the final. They'd be about anything as long as about astronomy. And the whole class collabed together and was like, alright, so what were your questions and what are the answers? Most of us got like high 90s because we did that. And we told her about it too. Like, after the test, we were like, by the way, we collabed. Like, I don't know if you expect us to do that, but we all collabed together for these questions and told everyone the answers. And she was like, oh, I totally expected you all to do that. I was actually going to encourage you to do that. And, wow, teachers encouraging you to cheat. Alright, that's cool. Although it wasn't really cheating because we made the test. So it was like, we knew the answers anyways. But she was nice. Who else did I have that I really did like a lot. The gym teachers, they were gym teachers, and they were actually chill. they acted like strict. Like, they try to make it sound like, oh, if you don't show up to gym class, you fail. You actually have to participate. They didn't care. Like, you have to show up with your gym clothes. I showed up in my track outfit, which technically you're not supposed to. But I had a meet that day, and I'm like, I'd like to be ready for the meet. And my teacher was like, hey, you can't wear that. And I'm like, I got shorts over it. And, I guess he must not notice that I had shorts over it. I'm like, look, I got shorts over it, and I have a meet today. I'd really like to get to be ready and dressed for this meet. Can I please just wear this? He's like, oh, you're part of the track team. Oh, never mind. Because I didn't have my jersey on at the time. I was wearing a different shirt. I was actually waiting on my jersey at the time. And I was like, I got a meet today. And, I don't have I'm part of the track team. Is it okay if I wear this? Oh, you're part of the track team? Oh, never mind. And they're all cool about that, But, there's some teachers in high school I really didn't like. Like, some of my math teachers I didn't, oh my god, no, my 10th grade math teacher, oh my god, I hated her. It was me, my best friend, and later one of my other friends would end up joining the class. Oh my god, I hated her class so much. She hardly taught the class. Nobody understood. And apparently her fail rate was like 60-something%. Like, I'll have to ask my best friend about that again. But he heard that, like, her failure rate in that year was like 60-something%. And I'm like, ugh! Like, how are you still a teacher? He was like, oh, tenure. I'm like, she's gonna get fired real soon. Like, that's not cool. Which, I don't know if she's been fired yet or not. I'm hoping she's been fired because she was bad. Like, really bad. But there was also the issue of, besides, the fact that she never taught, she didn't care. Like, you can tell she didn't care because, she didn't teach. But, like, sometimes she was like, my English professor from last semester. She would sometimes not be there and there'd be a substitute. Not sometimes, most of the time. And one time, another math teacher had to substitute for her. And I learned more from him in a day than I ever learned from the actual teacher in the entire year. I passed the exam with a 67, and I'm so glad I'm out of that class. It was painful. But my 11th grade algebra teacher, I didn't mind her. I actually really liked her. She was nice. My history teacher that year was kind of a dick. Well, he wasn't a dick, but, like, he'd see me in the halls and be like, hey, you do your homework? Yes. Well, you better not be lying to me. I saw you missed the couple assignments. You can't keep missing those. And, he would, go on to tell me, and at the end of the year, near the end of the year, when we were hitting the exams, he was like, you haven't been doing the assignments, and the ones you've been doing, you haven't looked so hot, I don't know if you're gonna pass the exam, but, I think you should study a lot, basically saying, I have no fucking faith in you, see you next year, but a nice way. And basically in my head, I'm thinking, okay, fuck you, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Got a 96 on that test. On the final, they're called Regents exams, got a 96. I wanted to walk into school in my senior year and tell them to suck it and leave. Like, before I left, after all my class, before I left, I wanted to walk up and tell them to suck it. I didn't, because I also didn't want to get suspended on the first day. But I truly wanted to tell that teacher to suck it. I'm not even kidding you. I truly wanted to tell that teacher to suck it. I didn't hate him. I really just wanted to tell him to suck it. That was it. I just want to be like, look, suck it. I passed that fucking exam. Get out of here. My 12th grade math teacher, this was pre-calculus. I struggled with math. Mostly because it was like, I can do basic math. You tell me to add 69 and 69, I got you. You tell me to ask me what 69x minus 27 equals 34, solve for x. You've instantly lost me by putting numbers next to fucking letters. Like, you've lost me instantly. And, like, I'll have friends who will, like, tell me about, like, certain things they're learning in their class, and I'll be like, yeah, you mind going over that? And they'll be like, well, what do you mean going over that? Well, start from, the beginning. Because, like, I don't understand anything you just said. Like, you just spoke Chinese to me, dude. That's, like, essentially what I'll say. And basically, my pre-calc teacher, he'd go on to tell me, like, I don't know if you belong in this class, dude. Like, if you can't do something basic like this, it's like, yeah, basic to you, because you've been doing this for how many years? He was, like, an older guy. Like, he was actually retiring the next year. But I didn't mind him because he was funny. Like, he was very strict, but he could be funny. His class could be enjoyable sometimes. Like, we had classes where he was like, here's the assignment, do the assignment. When you're done, I don't care what you do afterwards. As long as the assignment's done, you can do whatever you want. But, like, for homeworks, he'd have people, like, put up the answers on the board. Well, he would tell random people, like, he'd pick randomly, like, for people to do the homeworks. And, like, you didn't have a choice. If he told you to do the question, you had to do the question. Didn't matter if you had it, or if you didn't have the question done or not, you had to do it. I'm like, that's kind of dickish, dude. Like, you gotta think about, like, what if someone who, like, like, they're one of those people that, like, they're afraid to get the question wrong. Like, that's kind of dickish, and I get you have to grow out of that at some point, but, like, it's a little dickish, don't you think? But I didn't mind him. I ended up proving him wrong, because, he would be like, I don't know if you belong in this class, if you're struggling with a basic concept like this, in this class, it might not be, the thing for you. Now, granted, I was originally going to take the class for college credit, but in the end, I didn't, which I regret, because I ended up having to take math in college, and I hated it. Good thing I only had to take one math class, never again. But I'd go on to prove him wrong. I'd get like a 70-something on the final. And the final was a joke because how they ran the final, they ran it just like the Regents exams. Like, you had 3 hours, you have to stay for at least an hour and a half, and then you can leave. For the first hour, there were not enough tests, so they had to go back and get more. Then there was the issue of, we were told we only had to do these questions. And they were like, what? Like, yeah, like, our teacher said we only had to do these questions. And we were all the same teacher. Like, everyone in that room had the same teacher, and they were like, yeah, like, we were told we only had to do this half of the fucking test. Like, we already did the first half. And the other teachers who were the, how do I want to explain it? They were essentially the people that were there to, like, I can't really think of the word. Like, they were the people that were, like, making sure no one was cheating. They're the ones handing out the tests, basically. Like, they were the overseers of the exam, essentially. And they were all like, what the hell? But my teacher wasn't there at the time. He finally walks in, and they ask him, like, hey, did you say they only do these few questions? He was like, yeah, we did the first part in class. Like, I made a deal with them that they would have to do the first half in class, and they could do it with a partner, and then, the second half they had to do it all alone in here. And they were like, how many questions is it? Well, I think it was like, well, like 10 questions or something like that. And it was like, oh, it was like 10 questions, and they're like, you kidding me? I'm like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, I'm serious. That was the deal that I made with my students. And everyone was a little upset about that. So it took a whole hour between all of that and to, get a hold of the teacher. And then people needed pencils. They couldn't track down pencils. They had to get pencils. And this was the biggest disaster ever. Oh my god, it was a disaster. That was a disaster in its own. But shortly afterwards, trying to get pencils, and again, the test was basically already started, but some people were were without a pencil. So the first hour is now over, and people are gone. People were leaving essentially. They were letting people out early because time was already wasted, so they were just letting people out. Actually, it wasn't even an hour. It was more like that mostly took 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I was done with the test by then. And I'm like, alright, well, I can't leave for another 30 minutes. Took a nap. Woke up 30 minutes later to one of the people taking my test away from me. Hey, are you done? Yes, I'm done. Clearly I'm freaking done. I fell asleep. Did you check your answers? 3 times. Did you borrow that pencil? No, these are mine. Sign this at the bottom that says you didn't cheat. Okay. Okay. Goodbye. See you at graduation. I left. 5 minutes later, my one friend comes out. I'm like, dude, half the damn class is asleep in there. He's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, half the gym is asleep. He's like, it looked like more than that. And I'm like, you kidding me? What do you mean? He's like, dude, when I got up, it looked like everyone was asleep. I'm like, well, basically, most of the gym is asleep. He's like, did you fall asleep? I'm like, hell yeah, I fell asleep. He's like, dude, I finished the test in 15 minutes and I fell right asleep. I woke up and I noticed you were, I noticed you were laying down. I didn't know if you were sleeping or what. I'm like, yeah, I was asleep. Yeah, we fell asleep, basically, is what I'm saying. That test was a joke. And I ended up passing that test, and, again, the biggest joke ever. But, what are the teachers that I hate? I want to go over teachers that I hated. Let's see, I went through 12th grade I hate. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's a sign I should go to bed. I didn't hate many teachers in 12th grade. I didn't hate anyone really in 11th either. I mean, I hated the bio teacher in 12th, but in 11th, I didn't hate anyone really. But I can't remember at least. Math teacher was chill. History teacher was kind of a dick, but I didn't mind him. He was actually kind of cool sometimes. What else was there? What other classes did I take? English. Okay, my English teacher in 11th grade. Oh my goodness. We had to write letters. Basically, talking about ourselves, so that way the teacher can get to know us and whatnot. And my one friend, I'm going to use his name, my good friend John, was in my class. And I explicitly, in my note, gave her a fair warning. And I wrote my cute little note, and I said, P.S. Do not put me and John next to each other. We are horrible next to each other. Lo and behold, she puts me and him right next. She basically lets us pick our seats, essentially. Near the end of the year, me and him get sitting right next to each other. And I warned her, and we were horrible. Oh my goodness, we were horrible. She never called us out or anything, or yelled at us, but we were horrible. There were worse people, but we were pretty bad. But yeah, shout out to you, John. I don't know if you're watching my video, but you gotta admit, we were horrible in that class. And then me and him had earth science together. And my earth science teacher was also my forensics teacher, who was also my living environment teacher, which living environment is basically like high school level biology for those of you who don't know. But me and John were in earth science together, and that was interesting. That was a dark time indeed. Doing the Mickey Mouse voice during the final. Hey, you, John, cut it out. Shadow, you too. Damn it! The thing is, like, when he yelled at my boy John to cut it out, it was me doing the Mickey Mouse voice. Like, he actually, like, put his pencil down and turned around and looked at me and just, like, started laughing and smiled like, I'm gonna kick your ass after the test. When this test is over, I am kicking your ass. It was great. And then my other friend did it, and then he got yelled at, and I'm like, oh wow, like because we were notorious for doing the Mickey Mouse voice all the time, and it was interesting. It was great. But I don't know. He was kind of weird, but I really liked him. He's one of my favorites. Definitely my top three. Let's see, 11th grade. I really liked the English teacher. The English teacher was really nice. She was really cool. I used to say hi to her all the time. Like, I don't know. 11th and 12th grade, I really liked my English teachers. Like, I would like my 12th grade English teacher. I would sit down and have conversations with her sometimes. You know, we'd have like very intelligent conversations. You know, we'd talk about, you know, my writing for like a while. Like, other people, like, she'll talk to people about their writings for like a couple minutes, maybe like 20 minutes. You know, like one time we spent like an hour, you know, talking because I had a study hall at the time, and I had to go over there for to get help on one assignment. And me and her, we talked for like a while about one of the poems that I was gonna present, and she was like, "Wow, like, dude, you have talent. Like, this is amazing." And we talked about it. I told her like the whole backstory behind it and whatnot. And when I ended up presenting it, everyone loved it, and it was kind of funny that some people loved it because I would pull up the poem, but I can't actually like. Actually, I probably could pull it up right now. I'm gonna pull it up right now, and I'll go ahead and explain it. If I can find it. I'm hoping I can. Dude, I'm hoping I can find it because when I wrote that, it felt so good to write that and get it off my chest. So like if I can find it, that'd be nice. Which I don't. I think I might have lost it. I'm not gonna lie. I might have lost it. And I'm hoping I didn't lose it. But if I lost it, it's gonna suck because it was one of my favorites of all time. But I'll basically explain it. Like, if I did lose it, I'll just explain what it was basically all about. All right, well this sucks. I really can't. I'm not even joking. I might have legit lost it. I'm looking through my phone right now and I'm finding like old songs that I used to write, which I've been. Oh my god, I've been looking for this song for like ages. Real talk. Cause okay, I write songs in my spare time, cause I don't know. It's always been fun to me to like write music. Like I'm not even in a band or anything. I've always wanted to start one, but I've never like actually done it. You know, and it's like I would love to someday. Cause and I'm not gonna put my singing voice on now, but like I can sing. I'm practicing, but um, is this it? No, is this it? I think this is it. Well, yep, I found it. I found the poem. But basically, What was I gonna say? What was I talking about? I totally forgot. I totally forgot what I was talking about, and now I'll remember when I watch this video, and not I hate myself. But oh yeah, I've been like practicing singing and whatnot, and I've always wanted to start a band, and I'm not gonna put my singing voice on because 12:03 in the morning, I should be in bed anyways. But on top of that, people downstairs sleeping, I wake them up, I die. So to prevent myself from dying, yeah. But like, I've always liked writing. Like writing is one of the few things that I enjoy. Like I don't enjoy a lot of things. Like I enjoy like gaming, card games, D&D, and writing. There's not a lot that I actually enjoy. Well, I mean, there's a lot that I enjoy, but like not like in terms of like stuff that you wouldn't expect. Everyone, like, most people like to play video games. Most people like to play card games of some kind or like board games or whatever. Tell me how many people you know that actually like to sit there and just like write things. Like I don't mean like they keep a little journal or I mean like they sit there and they will write. Like I've attempted writing too. I've wrote one book. And I'm attempting to write another, which I'm thinking of. I might get back into writing it and sharing it with some of my English teachers and my English professors. I might try to hit up my 12th grade English teacher because I think she might appreciate the book. But I'll sit there and I'll write like songs about whatever's on my mind, or like I wrote back when I used to play Rainbow Six. I made Ash, so I wrote a song about Ash. Why not? I wrote a song about. I'm not gonna lie. I wrote songs about video game characters. I wrote a song about Widowmaker. I wrote one about Mercy. Which the Mercy song is kind of a mix between a song about Mercy and a song about the LA Valiant. Because like part of it is like I don't know. I don't want to go into too much detail about it. I'm kind of embarrassed to be honest about that. I'm not embarrassed because of like it's the LA Valiant. I'm embarrassed because of like the fact that I'm writing songs about my favorite video game characters. Like that's kind of embarrassing. But I'll also write about like, oh no, if you're idle for 10 minutes, you'll be logged out automatically. Well, guess what? You can't, log me out if I'm spinning around. Okay, but like I'll sit there and I'll just write. Like if I think of a song idea, I'll write it down in my head and then I'll put in lyrics, like first chance I get. But back to that poem I was telling you about, and I actually might do this in a separate video. I'm actually, I'm gonna read it now, and then, well, there's two I'm gonna read actually because why not? And then, basically, in a separate video, I might just read all of these, cause like why not? But like, to show you what I mean about like the whole Mercy thing, my favorite video game characters and whatnot being inspirations for things. There's one I wrote called Mercy Life, where it's like those kind of poems. It's like that kind of thing where it's like you have the word, but it goes like up and down, and like you write like lines. Like I forgot what kind of poem it was called. I actually have what's called right here. An acrostic. It's basically an acrostic, and it was It's called Mercy Life. Majestic her wings spread, elegantly and fighting valiantly, running to battle and answering cries for help, yelling her battle cry. There was supposed to be another line after that, but I had to take it out because it was supposed to say yelling her battle cry, heroes never die, which I wanted to include, but I was told to take it away. But the original poem said yelling her battle cry, heroes never die. Lowering her hand to bring back the dead, immune to those trying to take her away, freeing the dead from a nightmare of death, everyone lives as long as her wings are out. And I had to I hated myself for being, because like I was told like you have to take out that last part about heroes never die, and I'm like, come on, like everyone will understand instantly what I'm talking about. you know, if I keep the heroes never die part. Like, that was a very important part. But this other one I wrote, which is a PSA style poem, which it's kind of hard to explain, but like basically like, you're supposed to like you're supposed to memorize the poem and then say it. But we were allowed to read it off of our computers because like we weren't expected to memorize it, and I sure as hell wasn't gonna memorize it. That was for sure. But this was the one I was talking about earlier that, you know, me and my English teacher, we talked about for so long because it was so good. And when I presented it, like she was like, you know, you should totally present this. I'm like, all right, well I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna present it, you know, when I go up for my project. And oh boy, people ate that poem alive. But the thing is, there were some people in there that I was expecting to instantly know what the poem was about, and they didn't. And I made up a reason, which, you know, I told my English teacher, like, you know, I'm gonna make up a reason why I wrote this poem. Like, I told her the real reason. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna say though, because there's certain people that know the person, and you probably can catch on by now what I mean. But to speak in code, this song was about a person that I used to be good friends with and haven't spoken to in a very, very, very long time. And if you don't catch on to the very good friends part, that you could, yeah, I know that's what I sounded like right there, but you should not probably be on the internet if you didn't catch that. Like, the, you know, good friend part. Like, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. We were that good friends. I'm gonna say it right now, but we were good friends. Fill in the blank. You know, we were good friends. We weren't that good. Not ready to be a father yet. Okay, okay. Now when it gets late at night, I become a loudmouth. That probably instantly gave it away. But here's the poem. It's called Like, Love, Hate, Repeat. There's only so much a human being can or so much pain. Take two. There's only so much pain a human being can take. So how long should you decide on the move you'll make? You'll take three. Wow, I cannot. There's only so much pain a human being can take. So how long should you decide on the move you'll make? You find something or someone to love, but you lost it in a flash and watched it fly away. Gone and not to be seen for a while. Then it comes back and it hurts you, but you just fake that smile. But you let it sit there and take your life force, setting yourself on the wrong course. Then you tell yourself and you tell what it is you loved. I'm done. This hurts too much. Sorry, I must go. Please just let me leave before I hit a new low. Then it comes back to bite you, and you get sucked into it again, and you begin the cycle again, and you say things will get better. You finally hit that low. Congrats. You'll be shunned by many, but appreciated by few. Those few might be your friends, or new people that accept you, but once again, you feel like something is missing. The one thing that you love comes back. You don't know how to react. You're staggering with your emotions. You can't think, and you start circling with the same motions. The cycle has began again. This time you tell yourself things will be better. The cycle of love and hate with what you once loved never ends. Take it from someone who is in this cycle now. And people ate that up alive. Like, when I present it, we each had to do it like a, like we were only to present 3 poems. So I'm like, all right, which 3 do you guys want to hear? Every girl, not, there were a few guys, but basically every girl was like, I want to hear this one, and that was called Like, Love, Hate, Repeat. Everyone wanted to hear that one instantly. And I was like, wow, okay, we'll present that one first. Then I did Mercy Life, some other one, and then I did that one, actually. No, I did that one, then some other one, I believe. And I don't know, like, there was a lot of, I don't know, like that one, again, if you don't understand what that was about, you know, like if the last, you know, stanza, you know, didn't give away what that poem was about, or if the first one even didn't even give away like what that was about, probably should listen to it again. But yeah, that was just writing that whole thing, because like the teacher, like she said, you know, use emotion. Like real writers use emotion. Use your emotions. Do not hold your emotions back. You know, when you're writing these, use your emotion. I'm like, all right, well, use my emotion. Got it. And that's what I did, and it got me I think I got like a 90 something on the assignment. You know, was told, you know, use your emotion, and I did, and 190 later, it was just wow. Like I'm looking through some of these, and I'm like, wow. Like that was just great. Now I'm scrolling through D&D stuff, and oh man. All right, well, that's the live stream, folks. That's the video slash live stream. Whenever you're watching this, I'm going to bed. This is wow. I should not be awake. I should be in bed. I'm gonna suffer in the morning. I have to wake up at like 7. My class is even till 10, but I gotta wake up at 7. Makes sense. Alright, well, thanks everyone who came. Thanks everyone who wasn't able to make it, but still decided to watch this 3-hour nightmare. In the description is my Discord link. And in my Discord, and well, not just in my Discord, in general, I'm doing a giveaway. If you want more information, join the Discord or leave a comment down below for more information. Originally, I was going to announce the giveaway winner in this stream, but I wanted to have a minimum of at least 10 entries, or 5 to 10 entries, and I only got 1 entry, so I unfortunately am not prepared, but tomorrow, regardless, I'm going to announce a winner. Well, today, technically, I'm going to announce a winner, but once I announce the winner, you know, whoever wants that code is going to get the code, and they go from there, so but yeah, I'm going to bed. I am tired. I'm stalling right now too. Like I'm on Twitter right now just retweeting random things because I'm stalling, because I'm good at that. I'm good at sitting here on Twitter and retweeting things and stalling. The 3 things I'm good at. Stalling, stalling, and stalling. I know this person. I don't know you. I don't know how do I know you? Like apparently I am supposed to know this person, but I don't. Wow, Twitter, whatever. Alright. What's going on? Alright, well. Again, Discord, link down below. Other fun stuff also down below. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to bed. Good night. or good morning. I don't know. Is it good night or good morning when it's midnight? It's good night to me because it's still dark out, so good night.